Yesterday, our beloved Shobha left her body. For me, she was the incarnation of music and dance in the ashram. She came as a very young girl to the ashram and was born on 14th of December 1933. She joined the ashram at the age of 17 in 1951 and danced before the mother. Mother told her her dance was very good, but she should try also to open to the new dance. And for years and years, she was the face of music in the ashram, teaching hundreds and hundreds of students and checking on them once a year. There is a long article by the Overman Foundation on Shobha, and today we will upload the videos I conducted with her. She asked me, please only upload these when I have left my body. So you will see Shobha in all her gracious beauty and loving kindness and generosity. Thank you.
Good evening, Shobha.
Good evening, Arvind.
Each one of us have a unique experience, unique journey to spiritual life. So we'd like that you share your experience to youngsters so that they get inspired that how you were guided by Mother and Shibindu in your sadhana and your progress. So we'd like first to know little bit about your family background and how you first heard Mother and Shibindu's name and what pulled you here to the ashram.
Okay. I am coming from a Bengali family, rather orthodox. There was no question of Mother and Shobha there. They used to, my grandfather and the whole family used to worship Shiva, Lord Shiva, and we had a small temple in the house. I used to do the puja thing, arrangements, put there when I was at Calcutta. I used to do all that. Suddenly in 1940, my third brother, who was 23 years old, passed away in typhoid. At that time there was no proper treatment. So suddenly my brother, third brother, passed away. And that made my mother naturally become very morose. She became so silent, indifferent to the whole family. Although she was doing her duties all right, still she was inwardly very indifferent, very quiet. She talked very little, never smiled. So she was, my father and my other two brothers were really very much worried about my mother, because with this shock of losing 23-year-old son made her really change so much that everybody in the house was very much worried. They called the doctors, Vaids, but nothing happened. One day, a neighbor of our house, I'll call him Ajidda, he came for some work with my elder brother. My elder brother is Aru's father. So he came for some work, and before leaving, he came to meet my mother. He said many things about Sri Aurobindo Ashram, Sri Aurobindo and the mother, to my mother. And all of us, my two brothers and myself, my father was not at home at that time, all of us were really interested to know about the ashram. That was the first time we heard about Sri Aurobindo Ashram.
Which was the year approximately?
It was the year 1940. I was very small at that time. A small girl. So, after narrating lots of things about ashram, especially Sri Aurobindo's darshan and mother's darshan, Ajidda told my elder brother, Arun, why don't you take aunt to Sri Aurobindo Ashram once? I think she will feel lots of peace there. Why don't you take her to ashram? Immediately in front of Ajidda, only my elder brother said, Ma, would you like to go to ashram? And my mother immediately said yes. So in 1941, my mother and my elder brother came to ashram. Myself and my other brother, second brother Robi, we remained at home, and my father, of course. We remained at Calcutta. My mother came, that was 1941, and she had mother's darshan. It seems, I heard this from my elder brother, that when she went to see the mother in the meditation hall, she used to give darshan and she used to distribute flowers. Duman Bhai or Champuglalji used to be there by her side, helping her to take the flowers. So when mother was distributing her blessings, giving her blessings, my mother went and very spontaneously she spoke in Bengali, Mother, I have lost my son. I am feeling very sorry, very sad. I miss him very much. And she started shedding tears. The mother caught her two hands and kept them on her lap. She was sitting where, we have got the picture, her photograph now, exactly at the same place mother was sitting. She took my mother's hands, kept them on her lap, and she called my brother, but my brother was behind, in the line, but behind my mother. So she called my brother and said, our mother, do you have your brother's photograph? My brother said, yes, mother, we have got, but we have not brought it here. If you want, I can get it tomorrow. So mother said, yes, I would like to see. But tell your mother that I have taken her son and he is with me in peace. She must not weep for her son. He is there with me. I have taken him. So After that, mother, with her two hands, concentrated a lot on my mother, holding her forehead like this. No talking between both of them, the Divine Mother and my mother. So the Divine Mother sort of took away all her sorrows. She blessed my mother. She gave one beautiful surrender flower to my mother. Actually, she was giving the psychological perfection flower to everybody. And there was a small plate where some special flowers were there. And there was one surrender flower. Mother took that surrender flower and gave to our mother. And she touched her forehead like this, blessed her. And that was the beginning. She came away, and when my mother and my elder brother returned to Calcutta, we were all so deeply moved to see our mother again coming back to normal life, normal state. They were smiling, very sweet, very calm. You must have seen my mother. She used to work in corner house. Probably you don't remember. Very quiet woman.
Yes.
Very quiet, very quiet. Talked very little, very few words. But extremely sweet and beautiful. Anyway, mother and my brother went back to Calcutta. And myself, my father and my other brother Robi, we were really amazed to see this wonderful change in my mother. Wonderful change. She entered our house smiling and as if nothing happened, So I was then 8 years, I think. 8 or 7 years. 8 years, 41. I was looking at my mother and I wondered, what miracle is there in Sri Aurobindo Ashram that my mother could change like this? So I asked my elder brother, brother, what happened that our mother got changed like this? So my elder brother said, narrated the whole thing, that this is what happened. And these great divine entities, the great souls, the great spiritual figures, they have got the strength to take away the human sorrow, human miseries. So the mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram is divine, My brother told, she is divine. She has got the strength to take away all the sorrows of our mother.
By the way, did they show the mother photo?
Yes.
So she made any comment on the photo?
I don't remember now what she said. But one thing she said, that my third brother was a very known soul to our mother. That's why he went straight to our Divine Mother after his death.
But we had no connection as such.
No, there was no connection. In our
lives.
house, we didn't know anything about mother and Sri Aurobindo.
So it is the previous lives connection.
Maybe previous life connection. So that was the beginning of my, my inquiry, my aspiration. I just wanted to know what wonder is there, what miracle is there. So this happened in 1941. In 1942, My third brother passed away on 15th of August. So in 41 they came for August Darshan. So when it was 1942, my mother told my brother that you make arrangement, I would like to go to ashram in August. Because that was the birth date of my brother also. So she wanted to come in August in 42. I was then 9 years old. So I started telling my mother that this time I will go to ashram. If you have time, I can narrate a very beautiful dream of mine.
Sure.
It's really very beautiful. When I was asking my mother, my father, that I would like to go to Pondicherry, my father didn't allow me. Because I was studying at that time and he said, in the middle of the year, you cannot leave your classes and go to Pondicherry. Pondicherry is very, very far. At least 10-15 days you will need to go and come back. So he didn't allow. I told my mother, I have to go. Somehow I have to go to Pondicherry this time. So my mother said, you pray to mother. That's all she said. I didn't know who the mother was and I had not seen her till then. I didn't pray. One night I was sleeping beside my mother. I used to sleep by the side of my mother, both of us together. One night I was seeing there was a huge ocean and one lady, foreigner lady, European lady, with hair open, very fair and very beautiful, very beautiful. She is swimming and going towards the horizon. She is going and then from time to time she is turning back towards me. I was standing on the shore and I was watching her. She was turning back and she was doing, come, come. She was calling me. So I was 9-year-old. I didn't know this lady. But that lady's face and the picture of the mother that we have in our room was the same. So I felt that maybe it is that mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. So next morning I got up and said, Mother, I told to my mother that, Mother, you know, yesterday night I had a dream. This mother, I showed the picture, we had big picture of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. After mother went from Pondicherry, she installed 2 big pictures in our room, in our bedroom. So I said, Mother, you know, that lady who was swimming and going towards horizon and calling me, her face was exactly like this mother's face. So my mother said, then nobody will be able to stop you from going to ashram. You go and tell this dream to your father. I went and told, and father immediately agreed to, gave me permission to come. So that was in 1942. Myself and Robi, my mother, we came to ashram. That was our first visit to Sri Aurobindo Ashram. And we had Sri Aurobindo's darshan, mother's darshan. That's how it began.
Experience when you saw Sri Aurobindo and mother. So how did you feel, your first reaction?
You know, I was really small that time. But one thing I can tell you that the first time the first touch of the mother really was very special. That day only, she was standing on the corridor after the staircase, that when the meditation hall staircase is there, you go up and then there is a corridor. Mother used to stand there sometimes. So I met her there for the first time. She was wearing sari with head covered like Indian women. And when I went up and saw the mother, I felt that there is some goddess from heaven. That was my first feeling when I saw the mother for the first time. First feeling that she is not human being. She is somebody who is a goddess, who is divine. And since then, I have always seen the mother as...
Did you narrate your experience to the mother? Your childhood experience that she was going to the horizon and she was calling you?
No, I didn't tell. I didn't tell her. But at that time we used to go to mother every day.
So how long you stayed at that time in the ashram?
10 days. 10 days.
So how did you spend your time in 10 days in the ashram? If you remember.
I don't remember so well. I was very small. And ashram was also very different at that time. There was no school. Only dining room was there. Ashram.
So you used to have everyday darshan of the mother at that time?
Every day.
You used to go.
Early morning, this balcony darshan. Then around, I think, I may not be very accurate, Arvind, because the timings I don't remember so well, but sometime around 10 o'clock or 10:30. Before that she used to have terrace walking. She used to walk on the terrace with umbrella, and Chinmay used to be there. Then she would come down and we used to have one darshan at 10:30. Before that this terrace darshan was there. Then in the evening there used to be one meditation. Mother used to come down and sit in the meditation hall, and we all used to sit around, and mother used to meditate with us.
The playground was not there at that time?
No, playground started I think 45 or so. This is 42. Playground was not there. So what I remember is that there was a very serious atmosphere of sadhana. I did not understand what sadhana was at that time. But very serious people, very serious work, only work and nothing else. Meditation, work, that much I remember.
Where did we stay? The ashram had guest houses that time?
No, ashram did not have guest houses. But at that time, for coming even to ashram, we had to write to mother. If she permitted, then only we could come. So we had written and she granted the permission. When she used to grant the permission, there was one Bengali gentleman called Joganandoda, sadhak. Joganandoda was given the responsibility of arranging the house, accommodation for the people who are coming for darshan. Even for Sri Aurobindo's darshan, mother used to decide. She used to give permission, then only people could see Sri Aurobindo. So when this permission was granted, they used to arrange from the ashram an accommodation. It used to be arranged by the ashram.
What about food?
Food, dining room.
Dining was
Dining room was there. Dining room was there. But I remember, I think in the evening, dining room used to be finished by 6:30 every day. And then we used to come for this meditation I told you. We used to come to ashram.
What was the strength of the ashram that time? Any idea?
Very few persons. And children, no children. I did not see anybody. Maybe some were
So
there.
maybe like 50, 100 persons?
No, more than that. I think more than
Few
that.
hundred.
Because when you used to sit for mother's darshan, I think the whole meditation hall more or less used to be covered. That is how much, 100 or 100. Not that everybody came to sit there, but still, I think it was more than 200 or so, like that. But the number was quite small, and perhaps not many children. I didn't see anyone.
So after 10 days you went back to Calcutta.
We went back to Kerala. And since then, every year I used to come, at least once, definitely, sometimes twice.
With your
From
parents.
1942. My father was not so much interested in Mother and Sri Aurobindo. He used to be very, as I told you, he also came from a very orthodox family. This Shiva lingam that we had, we used to worship in our temple. That was my father's deity at that time. But when he came to know that we are all coming to ashram, he also joined us, but not so much as we did. It was much later when I came away that father came, I think for the first time, to ashram. That was 1951. But otherwise, my mother and my two brothers, myself.
So which year you came to ashram permanently?
1951.
51. And what education did you complete before you came here?
I completed matriculation. I was studying intermediate. Few months after, I came out. I didn't complete.
So your parents took the decision to settle down here in 51?
No, not at all. Not at all. My father was not willing at all. I came without telling my father.
So you were the first one to settle down here from a family, and your mother came later.
My mother came with me because my mother did not want me to come alone, stay here alone. So she left her family and she came and joined me.
So your father came little later, much later.
My father came to see me when I came away in 1951. I came in June. I think in July or August my father came to see me and my mother. We were then staying in the Red House opposite to library. My father came there. But then he went back. And we had a very big house and lots of, family properties, things like that. So my father was more interested in that. His own family, his own deity, deity of the family, all that. It is only when I came away, my mother joined me, that father started coming to ashram. I took him to the mother. That was the first time he came. And then after that, he used to come. He used to come, and his last life, he spent here for many, I think a few years, not many, a few years he stayed with us. At that time, I think mother had left her body. But then he wanted to remain in his ancestral house. So he went away. My mother and myself, we stayed.
So tell your life in the ashram when you came over here. So what did you do here?
When I came in 1951, shall I tell shortly how this thing happened?
You can tell freely, you can have number of talks, so you need not restrict yourself, but if you feel it is enough, you can stop and continue next talk.
Maybe next time when we begin, you see how you feel. Whatever I have spoken, is it okay?
It's fine. So you want to continue or?
Maybe another sitting. If this is fine, this is okay, then I will tell how I settled. How I settled in 1951 and what I did. Mother had arranged my studies and what was the life in the ashram at that time. Shortly, perhaps in the next talk.
Okay. Thank you.